everyone, it's Sam here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the new 6x6 Diorama circle die set, but I want to turn it into a gatefold, or have a gatefold front of it, so that when you open it up they can stay out, and it kind of looks a little bit like a beauty table or like a mirror. You can add that, all those kind of details to it as well once you see how it comes together. So I'm using the new head over heels stamp and die set, and I'm focusing on all of the makeup and the bag and the heels, and then I'm also using the scallop frames. You can see I've already cut that one out there. That's from my Diorama frame set, and I've already got everything ready to go here, and I was just playing around there putting it together. Okay, so I've already shared the tutorial for this one here, which is a really nice one. That's just as a circle card, and you've got your space inside to write your message. I've also done this one where I've got the same element, so you'll see how I put that together. You saw it in that video, and then I stuck it into one of my shadow box frames, and I've got all the tutorials for all the different size shadow box frames over on my Mixed Up Craft channel. I'll have the link to the 7x7 one that'll be coming up now. So you just literally stick it inside, and then I popped it on an 8x8 card blank, so it's another fun way to use this die set. So you want to run it through your die machine, the main die. I've used a 300 GSM cardstock, and this will go through your standard die machine. Okay, so just pass that one through. Then you get the big ring. So I've run that through with the white card. And then I've cut the back section in pink, and I've embossed it using my Ditzy Print embossing folder. And then I've cut it again in white card and just stuck that together because that's the back. I want it to be nice and strong. I've then also gone ahead and I've cut the paper here. Oh, I didn't show the paper pad. It's the new paper pad. Go in full circle, and I've used this one here. And I've cut it twice, and then I've also cut it again in white card. So this piece here is what I'm going to use to attach the gatefolds. So we need to create like little hinges on this. So stick it into your scoreboard. I want to create a little tab that I can stick the gatefold to. Now I think I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 of an inch, come down and just score. Then rotate it until this lines up nice and straight with a score line, or just a straight edge, because you want to make sure that you get the next one straight. And then you're going to do 3/8 of an inch again. Okay, so now I've got two hinges. So you want to fold these and burnish them, and they're going to fold in. Then with this one here, before we stick it down, you want to create mountain folds either side. And then you want to do a valley fold, mountain fold, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. So you've got a concertina. You should have all of the valleys should be on the score lines where you've got the little slots. Okay, so repeat that on the other side, like so. We're going to stick this on top, making sure that these are folded up, and we want to make sure that they are perfectly parallel as well. So I would recommend opening up the sides here, just pull that out, and when you stick it down you can just make sure that it's running straight. I'm going to use the score lines on this piece just to help me guide, get that lined up. So you want to add your glue all onto this piece, because this is slightly smaller than the piece we're sticking on top. And then I'm just going to place that one down like so, and then just spend a minute, like I said, getting those score lines nice and straight. So that one's nice and straight there. And I'm also just going to give it another really good burnish. And that inner ring should line up perfectly. Okay, so once they fold in, we've now got these hinges to attach the gatefold on. So we want to take a circle here, and we want to cut this in half. So I'm going to sit it in here. So it's coming up at 15 centimeters bang on. So you want to go down to 7.5 and then cut in half. These are then going to attach onto here. We're going to line it back up, and then we'll be able to open this up like so. We're going to cover those tabs with the pattern paper. So with these two pieces, you want to cut them in half again, so exactly the same way. Okay, so for my front one, I'm going to stick those down first. So they're just going to go straight over the top. Then I'm going to take my quick grab glue, and you want to run it on this little section here. Keep it folded in, and then stick this on what I would recommend, because again, you're working with a circle, it's easy to get it wonky. Use something on, you know, if you've got a ruler, if you've got a grid with straight lines, just lay this down, okay, next to it, and then you know that this is all straight. And then I'm going to stick this one over. It's going to overhang because you want it to, but the idea is that you get it lined up perfectly with the big circle below, and then you're going to repeat the same. So I'm just using that line there. This one will be a bit easier to line up because you've already got that piece in place. Just make sure that your design definitely matches. Now I can just sit that one, butt it up, and then that will just sit in place. Give that all a minute to dry. And then if you open it up, we now want to cover those tabs. It will create a crease when you fold it back, but because it's just a paper, it will be okay. I'm going to use the quick grab because this doesn't dry as hard. So just on that fold, it'll just be a little bit easier this time. Just butt that right up to the edge, and then everything else will fall into place. And again on this side. Okay, and once it's dry, just carefully fold that one, and again with the other side, and just keep doing that until that is nice and secure. Okay, so now we've got our gatefold, and once that back piece is on, this is all going to stand up, hopefully look really effective. So next you can stick this down, or you can add your bars. Once you've done this a few times, you'll all have different ways that you prefer, you know, putting it together. But I'm just going to fold them all in, close the gatefold, and I want to have the ditzy print, I think, horizontal. So again, I'm just going to line up that there so that's straight, and then I'm going to stick this right on. So what you want to do now is add your glue onto these two end tabs. Okay, keep them all squashed down, and then I just want to make sure I get the gatefold nice and straight and line that up right over the top of that circle. There is dimension to these cards because of the concertina, but you can still get that in an envelope. I tend to do like a bouncy envelope, or I pop it in a box envelope. How cool is that? This looks really effective. Then with the bars in the die set, you get this die here, so it will cut 3 bars. I like to always cut mine in acetate so everything looks like it's floating, but you can cut it in cardstock if you want. But you can run this through 3 times and have 9 bars in there if you wanted to. So if you want to have loads of stuff floating around, like I said, I think for the space themes, I'm definitely going to be using one of my stamp sets to do that, and also for like an under the water scene as well. It's going to be perfect for this style. I've got my frame here, so I've just used the plain circle and that first scallop die, put them together and run it through my machine, and it gives you that frame, and that is going to go on the top there. Just open this up a little bit more just so I can see what I'm doing. So to attach these, all you want to do is you've got like a T-bar at each end. On one of the ends, you don't have to do both, just fold in those little pieces and then slide it through wherever you want. But wherever you slide it in on one side, you want to make sure it comes out the same one on the opposite side. So this is right in the center, in the middle slot. So I'm just going to bring it right across and just bring that in towards you and just feed that through. Just make sure you squash them in, push that through, and then open up the edges there. Make sure your glue's dry, but that will start to really bring like stability to that as well, and keep it all nice and centered. So add as many as you want and stick down as much as you want. So here what I'm going to do is on the front, I want to have lights makeup action. I was going to have it as if it's kind of hanging. In fact, I might have it hanging off that one there, something like that. I don't want you to see it when it's open, so I might just have it a little bit hidden behind there. And then inside I have stamped and coloured a lot of the images from this set here. And I think I'm going to have in the middle, happy birthday to a classy lady. So I've already stamped and popped a little frame around that. I want to have Glam Squad across the top here. So let me just put that frame on. So I'll stick that down in a minute. Glam Squad. And then I was going to maybe have the makeup and the lipstick on the front. And then all of these bits are going to be attached to different bars, so they're all floating inside. You've got the little compact there, you've got a bracelet, you've got your mascara. So I'm going to have a little play around, get all this stuck down, and then I'll show you at the end. So that's the front of the card. I added a little brad. I just cut off the split pin part. Lights, makeup, action, and then when you open it up, you have this really lovely diorama. So you can see all the dimension there, with the lovely shine. See it all there. You've got your space all on the back for your message, and it stands up perfectly. So you see what I meant about that kind of vanity kind of unit. You could have this as a mirrored cardstock on the back, and they could be looking into a mirror. You could have everything laid out along the bottom. You've also got fit check in this set here, so you could have that as well. That works really well with this one. But I think it's adorable. Such a nice card, and it also reminds me of a gift box that I made that was a bow. So you could have this as this way. Don't fold all this, stick it on, put ribbon around this and tie bows so it looks like a cracker. And that is, you know, then how it would be in the envelope. Or if it's a thin enough ribbon, you'd see a little bit of it there. And then when you open it up, you've got ribbon ties there as well. I think that's really pretty. I can imagine a big 21 in the middle of this. I think it's a really fun style, and I'm glad that the gatefold idea has come together and worked out really well. So I hope you enjoy this style and another way of using this one. There's this way here. You've got, like I said, the shadow box one there, and then this one, and I will continue to add a couple more into this playlist as well to give you some more inspiration. As always, all the products that I've used, you can find it in the description box below the video. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today, and drop me a comment because I do enjoy reading them. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.